Okay, students, I'm gonna go ahead and go back over it. As you can see, the squares, I'm gonna make squares. There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 squares connected to each other, okay? And so we did our stripes, which is the easy part now for all of us. I just cut my end string here. This is where I end, and just bring it in a few strings, let it down. Then I choose um, white and black, white, black, white, black. And so now let's go ahead and start using the shuttle to separate my string on which one I need to bring my string into play here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my first string will be the white. And so I will lay my white here. That line, as you can see, I already marked it all the way to here, so I'll know when I get there. So I'm just going to lay my string like this, or if it bothers you, you can take that marking string and you can go around the warp string that you marked and just take it out like that. I don't do that because it just takes a lot of time to do that. So then I just do that. Then my next square is going to be the black string. I'm going to put it, now I'm going to just use the technique I do. I'm not going to put it around there. And then I'm going to go ahead and go from here on the marking warp string to the next. And notice I'm not going to take it around like I did here because it doesn't bother me. I will catch it on the way back this way. And then next one is my black. And see where I ended it? Just let it be. Don't worry about these things. You just put it right on top. You can even leave this there, or being at the end, if it bothers you, go around it twice or so, and then just catch it and just let it be. And there it is. And then just comb it down. And then you go ahead and change. Since I used the stationary stick, I'm going to now use the pulling stick. And then from there, I'm going to go in, go right to where I'm marked, go and catch the black string with the marked warp string. And then you go again from the marked to the marked warp string. Don't pull it. Comb down, mark to the marked warp string. Don't pull it. And then I remember I teach you to go around here twice and then the marked warp string. And then I just gently fix it so it looks nice. And then now I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I use this, now I'm going to use the stationary stick, which already has it separated. Flip up and continue. I'm going to try to just know that this top line here is where I'm going to stop. As I'm doing my squares, I'm going to stop. So make markings. Even the master weavers, they make markings so they know, because there's a lot of things, especially when you get a bigger rug going, a lot of designs going, so you got to mark. We're only human. We're not going to be perfect. So don't think you're going to get a big perfect or a little perfect rug. You're always going to have some kind of mistake, sometimes you have to let it go. They say that we shouldn't be doing perfect rugs because this is a very imperfect world. And so our work should also depict our world, our surroundings. Just watch. I do this just to kind of loosen or my work strings, kind of even it back out. You don't have to work as fast as I am. I'm only doing this because I want you to see a little bit of the action taking place here. I'm going to go around it twice, and then catch. You can use a hook. Now take it out. Now I'm going to use this one. Right in the center, pull it, make sure you catch all of them. And then you carry on. So when you get to this marked line here, stop. That will be probably complete your 4 squares. And then you can do stripes right there. And then you mark again the center. When you get to the center of your weaving, you got to make measurements. Making measurements from the top to the bottom, and I'd say right here is the center of my loom. So you can do the traditional way where you just get a string, you measure the bottom into the top, like my grandma did, and then you fold the string and you go from the bottom up, and you, wherever the string ends is where your marking will be of the middle. So you get a pen or a marker, mark that middle right there. That's the middle right there of your weaving. So you know that that's there. Make it nice and visible. Then that way you know the stripes that you're going to need to make, and then the square that's going to end up in the center. Okay, so I'm going to have 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows of squares. So that's how you do it. And if I make long videos, it takes a long time to upload, which is why I don't do long videos. So I'm going to end here, and I'm going to trust that you will continue what I'm doing and continue your squares. And we're using the warp strings to connect right here. See these? We're connecting our colors using the warp strings. That's the first thing I'm teaching you. Then we're going to learn how to use the spaces in between and not using the warp strings to connect our colors. There's 2 ways to do it. One of the students discovered it, great finding and study about using warp strings or not, or using space. And when I say space, I mean these spaces here, these spaces here, these. And then the warp strings. Right now, I'm teaching you to use the warp strings because it's easier and a better way to learn weaving first, because you have something to hook your strings and your colors to, so it doesn't become confusing. Okay, once you get this concept, then we're going to move on to using the space to use our warp strings. And yes, using warp strings will give it a nice little texture, a little bump right here where they end. And it kind of makes it a unique to our weaving when we use the warp strings. So later I will show you the finished product as I finish. Just like you, I have a lot of things to do here at home and at work, but I am finding every time that's available for me to work ahead so that you too can kind of see the outcome of what your work might look like. Okay, so please be patient with me. And also just be creative and test yourself. You might just be able to do one of these square rugs, or you can make another one, depending on how much time you devote to this. Just like learning the Navajo language. If you don't practice it, you're not going to learn the language quickly. If you devote your time to practicing and reciting your Navajo sounds and Navajo words, Navajo short sentences, you know, it starts developing just like anything. And so please continue, be patient with yourself, and don't get too frantic about this. This is all part of our healing process and balancing and peaceful moments we have with our little loom here. So enjoy, and I will show you and continue my progress on YouTube. Thank you.